All I need is one mic.
With the KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. August 5, 2026. Dear LA City Council President Marquise Harris Dawson, on behalf of a coalition of businesses and residents that constitute the Crenshaw Corridor community, we write to request that a concrete timeline and resources for fully completing Destination Crenshaw within a year be developed and announced. A year is the outside time it should take, and we hope and expect that it can be finished considerably sooner. We also request the immediate establishment of a business interruption relief fund for the merchants, entrepreneurs, churches, and property owners who have borne the disproportionate economic burden of the prolonged delays associated with the Destination Crenshaw project, and a resident relief fund for the residents of the corridor who have been most adversely affected by the prolonged construction and delays associated with this unfinished development. Destination Crenshaw was presented to this community as a transformational investment in Black culture, Black commerce, and the future of South Los Angeles. It has now been 6 years since the project broke ground and over 2 years since the promised completion date. Construction has stalled with no apparent end date in sight. The Crenshaw Corridor community embraced the vision of Destination Crenshaw, but the obstruction from the delayed construction has caused prolonged health and safety hazards, uncertainty, reduced customer access, declining revenues, disruptions, and mounting financial hardship. A broad spectrum of the community expressed their frustration over these delays and the impact they have had on the community at a standing room only July 30th town hall at Bethesda Temple Church, widely covered by the media, including ABC, CBS, Fox, and NBC. The burden of these unexplained delays should not rest on the shoulders of the Crenshaw Corridor community, which acted in good faith and supported this historic project. If the city fails to provide a complete and substantive response to this correspondence within 30 days of the date of this letter, the Crenshaw Corridor community reserves its right to pursue all of its rights and remedies. Sincerely, the Crenshaw Corridor community. To read the complete letter detailing all of our demands, go to our website at KBLA1580.com. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. As always, we welcome your feedback.
Junior show. Oh, 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 the Jesse Jackson Junior show. Oh, oh, the Jesse Jackson Junior show. Oh, 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 the Jesse Jackson Junior show. Oh, oh, come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA. 1080, download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. There are two kinds of people who carry a tradition forward. There is the one who takes the tradition into himself and makes something new out of it. And there's the one who keeps the papers, who makes sure that letters and sermons and margin notes survive the fire so that 100 years from now, somebody can still hear the man think. It's rare for those to be the same person. My guest today is that rare case. Howard Thurman was the mystic of the movement. He was dean of chapel at Howard, then at Boston University. He went to India in 1935 and sat with Gandhi and came back with a question that would not let him go. He wrote a small book called Jesus and the Disinherited. And Martin Luther King said to have carried this book in a briefcase through Montgomery, Thurman never led a march. He did something harder. He built the interior life that made marching possible. What he called the sound of the genuine, the still place a person retreats to so that a mob outside cannot tell him who he is. Samuel DeWitt Proctor was the other pole. Proctor was the builder. He was the president of Virginia Union at 34 years old, and then president of North Carolina A&T State University. He ran the Peace Corps in Nigeria. He stood in the pulpit of Abyssinian Baptist Church in Harlem, and he taught at Rutgers. And out of that pulpit and that classroom came a genuine generation of preachers who were still preaching. Proctor took the interior life Thurman described and gave it an institution, a payroll, a curriculum, and a congregation. Thurman told you who you were. Proctor built the school that would tell the next child. Now, if you want to know where tradition actually lives, do not look at who quotes it. Look at who has been trusted with its papers. And look at who has been trusted with its young people. Walter Earl Fluker has been trusted with both. For more than 30 years, he's been an editor of the Howard Thurman Papers Project. He's the man who holds the archive. And he has spent some of those 30 years, most of them, in fact, in institutions Proctor built and blessed. Morehouse, Colgate, Rochester Crozier, Boston University, Candler, and the Samuel DeWitt Proctor School of Theology itself. He's standing exactly where those two men meet and where their work comes together. He came to it the long way. He was born in Mississippi. His people ran out of Mississippi in 1957, the way so many of our people ran, and landed on the south side of Chicago and moved 12 times in 6 years. When he was 13 years old, he and two friends set out walking to the International Amphitheater to see a rodeo, and on the way they crossed under the Dan Ryan, that expressway which displaced 81,000 people, most of them black, and which everybody in Chicago understood was not a road but a border. On the far side of that border, a mob was waiting with pipes and a knife. He ran. He's been thinking about that run ever since. His new book is called Wake Up Running, Building Democratic Space at the Crossings. It is out from Broadly, and the argument is this, that running is not our shame, running is our inheritance and our discipline. Our people ran out of bondage and ran towards freedom they've never seen and could not prove even existed. He calls them renegades. Not renegades, renegades. And he says the American Republic is now at its own crossing, as he puts it, of madness and hope. And that the first task of any leader worth the name in his 250th years is to build what he calls democratic space. Not to win an argument, to build a room where the people who have been counted on can walk in, speak, and be heard. Dr. Walter Earl Fluker, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Dr. Fluker, I think your mic might be muted. When we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580, Dr. Walter Fluker will be our very special guest. It's one of these interviews, one of these rare interviews that I actually look forward to participating in. In fact, I've taken my time to program this interview so that it has a life far beyond this day, because Dr. Walter Earl Fluker is definitely that figure. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. More on KBLA Talk 1580 when we come forward.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
The KBLA 1580 app puts the realest conversations right in your pocket. Stream live wherever you are in the world. No static. No searching the dial. A crystal clear connection 24/7, exactly when you want it. We recommend that you keep automatic updates enabled. Set it and forget it. So the app stays up to date with store requirements, bug fixes, and new features as we roll them out. Download the KBLA 1580 app today and stay plugged into the conversation everyone's having.
Ready for a weekend reset? Walk it out with me, Gina A. Towns, the artist formerly known as Gina Darby, on Reflectivity Beyond Black and White, as we seek peace, understanding, and healing beyond surface level perspectives, where reflectivity becomes our inner power and resilience to transform our lives and our communities no matter what. Meet me and my crazy cool guests. Join the Reflectivity family movement as we make sense of it all. Every bit, every morsel. We're going to nourish the mind, body, and soul unapologetically right here on KBLA Talk 1580. every Saturday, 2 and 8 p.m. on the West Coast, 4 and 10 in the Midwest, and 5 and 11 on the East Coast. It's time for reflectivity beyond black and white. It's not only hot, it's sizzling, and we're cooking.
Just in case you missed our Procrastination Crenshaw Town Hall.
Originally, the project was supposed to end, I was told, October of that year, and now we're looking at 5 years later, and it still hasn't been finished. I still have no parking lot. We have to park blocks away to get to work, along with my clients with sick animals. I have elderly clients, I have handicapped clients. They have to, either suffer through, park somewhere far, and make their way to the clinic with their sick animal so I can treat them. Or they can choose to go somewhere else, which is more convenient. And so I think the majority of people would probably choose the more convenient way. Luckily, I definitely have some clients that will still, make that trip. So it's definitely been impacting my business for 5 years. Like I said, my father, he has 3 sons, as they affectionately known as the Hardy Boys. We're all veterinarians. My oldest brother has a practice in Long Beach. My middle brother has a practice in Arcadia. He instilled all this greatness in us, and so we're continuing tradition. I would definitely continue the tradition of Angeles Vista Pet Medical Center on the corner of Crenshaw and Vernon, but this impact appears to be going on way too long. Something needs to be done. It has to be concluded.
Making sure they follow through. We're KBLA, Talk 1580.
This November, you'll decide who leads California. So shouldn't you hear directly from the people asking for your vote? Join us for California Voices, a political town hall and ballot forum, Saturday, October 3rd, 2026. Meet candidates running for governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, and other major statewide and local offices, including mayor of Los Angeles, city attorney, and LA County sheriff. Get clear, nonpartisan breakdowns of the propositions on your November ballot, both sides, no spin. And ask your questions directly, in real conversation, face to face. California Voices is brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the Empowerment Congress, giving you the information you need before you vote. Mark your calendar, Saturday, October 3rd, 2026, California Voices. Follow KBLA 1580 for details and download the KBLA 1580 app. Your vote, your voice. Be there.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Polly drops the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download that.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Dr. Fluker, welcome forward to the show.
I'm glad to be here, Jesse. Glad to be with you.
Dr. Fluker, I take our interview very, very seriously, and I shared with our producer, Gina Towns, that I want to make sure that the interview itself is evergreen because you are definitely that figure. And this is an interview that I'd like to play and cherish for a very long time. So I've divided our conversation into 5 movements. The first one is the 13-year-old. You were 13 and you were walking to a rodeo. Tell me what happened under the Dan Ryan.
Well, Keith, my friends, Keith, Tony, and I had been given tickets by Keith's mama. And we were headed to the amphitheater. You know where that is, on a Halsted. And we had never ventured beyond our neighborhood, so it was quite a trek for us. After we passed Halsted, we were in different territory. Anyone in Chicago who knows anything about that past will know that once you passed Halsted, you were in dangerous territory. But we didn't know that. So it was our innocence that guided us, and we were playing, signifying, talking about one another's parents, etc. And out of nowhere, Tony said, "Hey, y'all, there's some white boys." And our laughter and our play turned into fright and flight, and we were off running. And we ran to the rodeo that morning actually, and it was quite an affair because I slipped on the ice, Jesse, and one of the guys stood over me with a knife and called me this name that we well know, and mixed it with some crude obscenities. And I was able to regain balance miraculously and pick up the run again. And I was running so fast, I say in the book, I felt like I was that character in the Roadrunner cartoon. My legs had left my body. And I actually ran through a guy who was standing in the middle of the street to stop me. I ran through him or over him, I'm not sure. But I made it that day to the amphitheater to see cowboys. It was a traumatic experience.
Dr. Fluker, you're right that when you slipped on the ice, that you were laughing while you were running. Why did you laugh when you were most afraid?
I'm still trying to figure that out. I think that we often laugh when we are most afraid, when we are most alienated from our deepest selves. Sometimes laughter, Paul Laurence Dunbar, is a clever facade. We mask with the laugh, but it's not quite that. It's part of leaving oneself and finding oneself in strange territory without a map. And we laugh at it, and it borders on insanity. And I don't think we're far from that some days, not just in personal spaces, but in public spaces. I think I hear that kind of laughter nowadays around some of the conversations that are going on in the nation. Deep, deep alienation that is born of fear, but not knowing how to address the fear. So we laugh.
I think that's profound, because there is a kind of natural response to the idea that when we are experiencing this kind of public anxiety, public trauma, this public fear, if you will, concern about tomorrow, that the reaction may not be what you expect it to be. We almost shrug it off, and we can't explain it. Your parents I'm sorry, Doc.
It may be a survival tactic. It's ways in which we learn to maintain some semblance of balance as we move through the world. The weight. I have a good friend, philosopher friend, who always talks about finitude. And sometimes our finitude, bearing the weight of our existence, brings us to a place where all that we have left maybe is a laugh or a moan.
You write that your parents ran out of Mississippi in 1957, 12 moves in 6 years. What do your mother and father think about the idea you were running to and they were running to?
Well, they're not here to speak about it now, Jesse, but I do know that my mom and dad were looking for a home. They had made home in Mississippi. All of their family was from Mississippi and Louisiana. And moving to Chicago, they were again alienated from home. So in Chicago, there was a restlessness to find home. And home was not just a physical locale. It was not just a house. It was a space of communion with others where things were familiar. So as you already know, most of the Black folks during my generation were part of the last great migration to the North. And many of the folks we knew were also from Mississippi, Arkansas, some maybe from Louisiana, but in Chicago, a lot of Mississippians, Tennesseans looking for a home. And they found glimpses of home in a number of places, mainly the church for my family, Others would probably find it in the blues joints, with which I became very familiar as I got older. But you find home where you can sing the blues or sing the gospel. But learning home is a wonderful thing. So my parents were looking for a home, and unfortunately, I don't think they really ever adjusted to Chicago. They were always remembering home. And I grew up in that kind of space. And that is one of the defining motifs of this book, homing, which is one of the moves you've identified. But my parents were homing, Jesse. They were trying to find home. And the big question, I think, for certainly African Americans, but many dislocated people in our country and in the world throughout diasporas, are people who are missing home, searching for a home.
I think that's where we're obviously going to end up at the end of the hour. Dr. Fluker, you use the word, and it's central to the book, and I think it's important that it be explained. Renegade. Where does it come from, and why isn't runaway good enough?
Yeah. Renegade is an old English term, which was used for servants and other fugitives, mainly fugitives, who would leave in acts of defiance. They were quote unquote troublemakers. They'd run away. They refused the authority of the Lord or of the estate or of their master. And it works its way into our English, and it becomes most popular in Black life through the poetry of Robert Hayden, who taught for many years at Fisk and later at the University of Michigan at Ann Arbor. He wrote a poem in 1962 about Harriet Tubman. She was a renegade. She defied authority, and it's a wonderful poem. I recommend it to any of your listeners. You can find it under Robert Hayden's name. I have just one little verse. It says, renegade. And then it says, run, falls, rises, stumbles on the darkness into darkness, and the darkness thicketed with shapes of terror. And the hunters pursuing, and the hounds pursuing, and the night cold, and the night long, and the river to cross, and the jack-o'-lanterns beckoning, and blackness ahead. And when shall I reach that somewhere morning, and keep on going, and never turn back, and keep on going? Then Hayden says, renegade, renegade, renegade. Trying to get home, trying to find home.
Dr. Fluker, you say that you draw a line between a runaway and a maroon. A runaway is still living under the other man's law. A maroon has left. Which one right now is Black America fighting or fighting with, fighting in? A maroon or runaway?
Yeah, I borrow much of this scholarship from a number of historians. One is Sylvain Diouf, who talks about exiles, slavery as exiles. But the key point is that runaways are still under the authority of their masters. They've just run away, but they didn't run away. They are close enough to kind of be captured. And even if they're not captured, they're still trying to be close to the big farmhouse, as Frederick Douglass called it, the big house farm, rather. They're close to the plantation. But maroons are trying to leave Dodge. They're getting out of there. They're going into exile. And I often make a distinction theologically between exodus and exile along those same lines. I think sometimes we've overplayed the exodus motif or metaphor in the Bible. We really are more akin to exiles, those who've run away and are not planning on returning. But there were two kinds of maroons. One was the border maroon who was close to the border of the plantation so that they could occasionally visit family, steal food from the master, and have some familiarity with old landscapes. But the hinterlands, those maroons in the hinterland, they had no plan whatsoever of ever returning. They were really trying to get back home to Africa.
Let me ask this
And
question because I think I heard a song from I heard a song, I can't remember who the artist was. It might have been Beyonce, where she said something to the effect, "Free your mind, and the rest will follow."
yeah,
Well, it's in vogue. It's in vogue. Okay, my dad said, "Free your mind, and your ass will follow."
yeah, there were some maroons who said, "You can have this. We don't want an intrastate colony. We don't want to be free within this country. We just want to leave here, and we will risk everything to make that happen."
You say that maroonage is an attitude and a plan. What's the plan, Dr. Flipper?
The plan is to find home somewhere else. And the plan, I spent a lot of time in the book stringing these words that start with C's, these gerunds. For people who remember 4th, 5th grade English, those are active verbs. I talk about congregating, conjuring, conspiring in commons at crossings. But the plan is to find a new place, a new dwelling place where one is at home, one is oneself, or one finds oneself for the first time after bondage. So the part of the plan is to, as Frederick Douglass, being one of the prime examples, was to leave. His plan, of course, was to return and change America. And of course, I think he did a fairly good job during that period of time, but he left with an attitude. Vincent Wimbush says he left with an attitude, and his plan was, of course, to reform the soul of America.
Dr. Fluker, I have about 1 minute before we come forward, which is our break. There are people listening who are hearing running, and at the same time they hear cowardice. Can you answer them?
Yeah, Otis Redding had a song in the 60s. It says, "Preacher and the deacon were praying one day. Along came a bear coming down the way. Preacher told the deacon to say a prayer. He said, 'Lord, a prayer won't kill this bear. We got to run for it.'"
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Our very special guest is none other than the great Dr. Walter Earl Flipper. More on KBLA Talk 1580 when we come forward.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Wisconsin's Democratic primary for governor ended in an upset with Black Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley narrowly defeating favorite candidate Francesca Hong.
We fought through this primary because Wisconsinites have rejected the politics of fear.
Crowley, who had the backing of retiring Governor Tony Evers, will face Republican Tom Tiffany in November. A former Fayette County Public Schools employee in Kentucky is suing the district, claiming racial discrimination. Cassandra Tokash says her wellness specialist contract was not renewed because she is white, while the department's only Black employee kept their position despite having less seniority. An GoFundMe has been launched for Malcolm Jamal Warner's widow, Tanisha, who is reportedly struggling financially while raising their daughter. Page 6 says she is also in a legal dispute with Warner's mother over money from the family trust. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers are about to change ownership again. NBA sources are reporting that Lakers owner Mark Walter, who bought the franchise last year for $10 billion, is selling it to a couple of very rich businessmen, Josh Kushner and Bob Iger. Key players in the NBA's potential expansion into Las Vegas have agreed to pay Walter $12 billion for the Lakers. Walter is the majority owner of the Dodgers, but it appears he's ending his relationship with the Lakers after just 1 year. More details to come on this surprising development. The NFL is considering a suspension for Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua at the start of the regular season. The league is reviewing whether Nacua has violated the league's code of conduct policy. Nacua, who led the NFL in receptions last season, is facing a civil lawsuit from a woman accusing him of assault and anti-Semitic comments. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
In a world full of noise, one station keeps it real. KBLA Talk 1580, where the conversation goes deeper, the voices sound like yours, and the issues that matter most to our community take center stage. Progressive, powerful, unapologetically us. Whether you're driving through this city or tuning in from your home or office, join the public square. KBLA Talk 1580, your home for talk that enlightens, encourages, and empowers. Listen live on our free KBLA 1580 app, on our website at KBLA1580.com, or on your radio dial at 1580 AM.
Unapologetically progressive.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
What's good, KBLA delegation? I am Miles Lowe, and I'm excited to be joining the weekend lineup right here on KBLA Talk 1580. Join me every Saturday at 12 noon for the Do Better Show, where we get into the world of tech, AI, the creator economy, navigating your mental health through it all, and have conversations with founders to find out how real people are making real money right now. It's not a course, not a subscription. Class is in session every weekend, live on the air. So if you knew better, you do better, right? So let's make a better you. The Do Better Show, every Saturday, 12 noon, and replaying again at 7 p.m. right here on Unapologetically Progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-575-8935. 800-575-8935. That's 800-575-8935.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Volley, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. It's Moving Mountain Wednesdays. I know I messed that up. Worldwide with Jesse Jackson Jr. Wealthy Wednesday on Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580. Dr. Walter Earl Fluker, the founder of Walter Earl Fluker and Associates, is a distinguished academic and leadership expert with notable positions across various institutions. He currently holds the title of Distinguished Professor at the Howard Thurman Center, Hartford University for Religion and Peace, and has led 10 years as Dean of Professor at Emory's University's Candler School of Theology and Professor Emeritus at Boston University, where he also managed the Howard Thurman Papers Project. He is the author of Wake Up Running. He is our very special guest in this hour. Dr. Fluker, welcome forward to the show.
Back. I'm back.
Yes, you are. I'm so grateful that you are. Dr. Fluker, there's a reason why you get to write this book.
Yes.
30 plus years editing Howard Thurman's papers. What does a man learn about Howard Thurman that you cannot get from the published books?
Howard Thurman was a friend of God.
Friend
he had a
of
very,
God.
he was a friend, you know, like the biblical Enoch. He walked with God, and he was not because God took him. God wanted to keep him as a friend. That's who Thurman was. He wasn't a servant of God and none of that stuff. They were partners. And a very intimate relationship, friendship with God. So that's one of the ways to think of Thurman. Sue Bailey Thurman, his beloved spouse for many years, said that Howard lived under a tent with God. And every now and then, she, among others, was allowed to enter. But he walked closely with God, Jesse. And God for Thurman was not this old bearded guy in the sky, but God was within. God was in everything. God was in nature. God was in Jesse. God was in the far reaches of the universe, but this same God was also within. And for him, the kingdom, however we choose to use that language nowadays, the kingdom was within. And that was one of his, I think, gifts to us if we can hold on to it. We don't have to do all of the twists and turns that sometimes our rituals and practices demand. We must become more and more aware that we are already God's friends.
I was listening to a documentary with Dr. Henry Louis Gates, and there was this profound moment where you said about Dr. Howard Thurman that he talked to trees.
I just told you, man, he found God in trees. What we've done with that, at least I, over the years, and some of my, I'm the editor of the Howard Thurman Papers Project. I hired a managing editor, but I was the editor. And I had a bunch of folks. We know that Thurman was closely related to his African heritage through his grandmother, Nancy, and that his family probably came from an area that we would associate with the Gambia. And so he was closely connected to his own religious experience. And he's constantly saying this in his writings. He wants us to claim our own religious experience, not the religion that other folks gave us. And for Thurman, you can read that in many ways. Certainly not the religion of Europeans. No. He mastered the European Christ, but that was not his Christ. In fact, he had very little to do with that kind of Christology. He thought Jesus was an intimate friend with whom he walked and he talked and would find the spirit of the living God in all forms of nature, especially the old oak tree that was in his backyard as a boy. He'd talk aloud to the tree, and he said he'd tell the tree about all of his troubles. And for mystics, trees are important. I won't bore you with a lot of heavy talk, but it's the oxys mundi. It's the pillar of the earth. Like when you see Jacob climbing the ladder, it's this thing that holds the earth. Thurman and the tree are pulling infinity into finitude. And to know this, Thurman thinks, is to be free.
Thurman was not a marcher. Thurman was not a marcher, Dr. Fluker.
No, he didn't do a lot of marching.
Some people held that against him. Defend him. Defend him.
Yeah, I have no need to defend him, but I'll tell you, Otis Moss Sr. often says he did not march, but he knew what to do before the march. He knew why the march, and he was also the architect in many ways of what we call the modern nonviolent civil rights movement. Thurman was the first African American to lead a delegation to meet with Gandhi in 1935-36. And it was his work with nonviolence that he bequeathed not only to Martin Luther King Jr. and others, but Benny Mays went to India after Thurman. Mordecai Wyatt Johnson went to India after Thurman. And Thurman's little book, Jesus and the Disinherited, is his first toss out on what it means to be part of this nonviolent, compassionate resistance to evil. And so I don't defend him. I tell people, go and read Thurman. Go to the water and get a drink, kind of like Naaman. Go and clean yourself in the river. That might be the way to meet Thurman. If you think because he was so far, I think, into the movement of spirit that our movement on the ground was a for instance for him of what it takes to move this system of which we are part. So he didn't march, but he was at the March on Washington. He said he was there with his friend Frank Wilson, and they just marveled at the young Martin. They were just marveling at young Martin, he said. There's a blessing in getting old, I'm telling you, man.
He had a phrase called the apostles of sensitiveness. What did he mean, and why did you build your last chapter on it?
Thurman's apostle of sensitiveness are those whose nerve endings he called. He did a lot with the body, Jesse. Thurman was a body theologian, not an embodied, but a body theologian. He felt that the human body told us a lot about spirit. And he felt like our nerve endings, this neurological piece that is part of us, is what gives us key to awareness and sensitivity of what's going on within us and within the world. So he wanted to create a new cadre of leaders who were apostles of this kind of sensitivity, this awareness of the deep and also awareness of the world. And he felt that if they could practice this deep work of spirituality, as we call it, over a sustained period of time, they could come together and create a beachhead for American democracy. They could transform American democracy, much like, and he was really looking back at Gandhi, much like the work that had been done in the ashrams and, of course, in the movement in India. But in America, he really envisioned that. And so he became the pastor of the Fellowship Church, as you know, and was dean of Rankin Chapel at Howard, later at Boston University, but always experimenting with this idea.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. When we come forward, the argument, why democratic spaces and homing, madness and hope. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Our very special guest is Dr. Walter Earl Fluker, the founder of Walter Earl Fluker and Associates, and also the responsible man who's responsible for pulling the life of Howard Thurman and his papers together for all of us and for eternity. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. More on KBLA Talk 1580 when we come forward.
While you're stuck in traffic, we can at least bring you up to speed on the news of the day. You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Helping communities get connected. Along the Crenshaw corridor, free public Wi-Fi is now available thanks to Destination Crenshaw and the City of Los Angeles. Whether you're checking email, applying for jobs, finishing homework, or supporting your local businesses, staying connected is easier than ever because access to the internet means access to opportunity. To learn more and find Wi-Fi locations near you, visit www.getconnected.lacity.gov. Just in case you missed our Procrastination Crenshaw Town Hall.
I actually live on this block, and it has affected my life because I'm a knock nurse. We have everyone coming over here that's on meth, drugs, and everything. I've called multiple times to Los Angeles County about once you leave out of here, you will see once you go down to this stop sign, it's pitch black. There's no lights over here.
No lights?
No lights on this side or that side. You have people with mental issues throwing these gates to Crenshaw. Children don't like to come outside anymore on their scooters, their bikes, their helmets, and they're speeding up and down. No regards to life at all. Like I said, I leave out of work. I'm a traveling nurse, so I take my contracts in Los Angeles County, but I may have to go to Montebello. I may have to go to Van Nuys. I leave out at 9:45 sometimes sooner, and it's someone breaking into our mailboxes because they're breaking into our mailboxes.
So now the mail's not coming.
Yeah, breaking your windows in your vehicles, and it's just really sad.
Holding them accountable. We're KBLA, Talk 1580.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. 10 Toes In serves as a mentorship and domestic violence prevention program. They support, educate, and empower couples during and after incarceration. They assist male returning citizens to re-enter society successfully and to help them maintain a healthy relationship with their romantic partner. They offer a mentorship support group for formerly incarcerated men. 10 Toes In teaches its Intimate Relationships 101 curriculum at male prisons throughout the state of California. They host sister support group meetings for women who are intimately involved with incarcerated and formerly incarcerated men. 10 Toes In is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. To access their services or make a donation, please visit them online at 10toesin.org or find them on Facebook or Instagram. They are healing lives through relationships. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
There is no denying that we've always been the conscience of this country. KBLA Talk 1580 is progressive talk radio built for our community, by our community, and with hosts who look like you, live near you, and care about what you care about. 50,000 watts of truth right here in Southern California. KBLA Talk 1580. Listen live on your AM radio dial at 1580 or stream us live on our KBLA1580.com website or on our free KBLA 1580 app.
Unapologetically progressive.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom? She started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Ready to order?
Yes.
We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Volley, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to the me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to the me. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. Dr. Walter Earl Fluker, instrumental in founding the Andrew Young Center for Global Leadership and served as the Coca-Cola Professor of Leadership Studies at Morehouse College, renowned as a consultant, a speaker, and workshop leader. His contributions have been recognized worldwide in academic, governmental, and religious sectors. Dr. Fluker's work earned him numerous honors, including being named in the 2023 Franklin Delano Roosevelt Freedom of Worship Award laureate. His work, Wake Up Running, Building Democratic Spaces at the Crossings, is available on Amazon.com right now. And please go to Amazon.com and get Wake Up Running by Dr. Walter Earl Fluker. Dr. Fluker, welcome forward to the show.
Thank you.
Dr. Fluker, a few more questions before our show comes to an end. And this is really the thesis of the book. Democratic spaces. What is a democratic space, Doc?
A democratic space is anywhere where belonging and inclusiveness is not only valued, but celebrated. It centers on the principle of an almost hackneyed word now, equality. Not just equity. I understand the difference, as people often go, but to be equal, Jesse, what does that mean? And what does it mean to be recognized for who you are and to have a sense of belonging? Not to be set apart and cast apart as a foul and profane thing, or to just be different and not receive value. So what does it mean to be an immigrant at this point in our history? What does it mean to be LGBTQAI and more? What does it mean to be excluded from the conversation about you? Democratic space allows us to have voice and recognition. It prevents anonymity. I mentioned that in the book, and I noticed that you picked that up. But to be anonymous, to be a faceless thing, as Thurman says, to go up and down the streets of other minds without any acknowledgement is a very lonely space. So democratic space is also the creative and contested space where those who have no part, who have been erased, speak out and disrupt systems so that others like themselves can have a part. Last point, democratic space is also where I find home in the heart of the other. And I leave my heart open for the other as a place of respite and home. It precedes democratic government, Jesse. I'm not talking just about institutions, while as important as they are. I do not devalue them, but there's a precondition. There is a spiritual and ethical association and obligation that democratic space demands, so that when we talk about democratic government and its various institutions, we can actually actualize the ideals for which they stand or represent.
I can ask a lot of more questions, and I hope you'll come back on our program. This democratic space. But as we bring our program to a close, you close on this idea of homing, the book's last movement. Homing. You say home is not a fixed address. What is it? Then what is it?
Home, we do have to go, but I want to read this and we can even leave here. Toni Morrison says, whose house is this? Whose night keeps out the light in here? Say, who owns this house? It is not mine. I had another sweeter. The house is strange. Its shadows lie. Say, tell me, why does its lock fit my key? Most of us who think we're at home, we're in a house that has been made for us, created for us, constructed for us, which denies us our humanity. Homing disrupts that construction and calls us into a sphere of freedom. That's what running is. Running is not just about fear of the other. Running is meant to imply running to a new future. In this case, democratic futures. Given where we're going in November of this year, I think the quest for home, especially among people who have been historically excluded and disinherited, will be one of the most primary questions that we will raise. Because we've not found home, though we've been here a long time. We've not yet found home. God help us if we miss this opportunity.
Dr. Fluker, we have a little less than a minute coming forward. You end with Dr. King's World House and the old spiritual, plenty good room, choose your seat and sit down. Is there still plenty good room in America?
Yeah, if we follow King, and that's a very dangerous proposition. But we must congregate, come together, conjure, remix, rethink some of the old things with the new things, like the great world house, and conspire, breathe together, Jesse. Not being diabolical, but to breathe spirit together in commons at these very maddening and dangerous crossings in the third decade of the 21st century. And anyone who does not understand what I'm saying, then they need to wake up running.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. It doesn't get much more profound than that. Dr. Walter Earl Fluker has been our very special guest this hour. Dr. Fluker, hopefully, I'm looking forward to your return to KBLA Talk 1580 in the future.
See you soon on the run.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Wake up running, everybody. More on KBLA Talk 1580 right here on KBLA Talk 1580 in just a moment.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Wisconsin's Democratic primary for governor ended in an upset with Black Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley narrowly defeating favorite candidate Francesca Hong.
We fought through this primary because Wisconsinites have rejected the politics of fear.
Crowley, who had the backing of retiring Governor Tony Evers, will face Republican Tom Tiffany in November. A former Fayette County Public Schools employee in Kentucky is suing the district, claiming racial discrimination. Cassandra Tokash says her wellness specialist contract was not renewed because she is white, while the department's only Black employee kept their position despite having less seniority. And a GoFundMe has been launched for Malcolm Jamal Warner's widow, Tanisha, who is reportedly struggling financially while raising their daughter. Page 6 says she is also in a legal dispute with Warner's mother over money from the family trust. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers are about to change ownership again. NBA sources are reporting that Lakers owner Mark Walter, who bought the franchise last year for $10 billion, is selling it to a couple of very rich businessmen, Josh Kushner and Bob Iger. Key players in the NBA's potential expansion into Las Vegas have agreed to pay Walter $12 billion for the Lakers. Walter is the majority owner of the Dodgers, but it appears he's ending his relationship with the Lakers after just 1 year. More details to come on this surprising development. The NFL is considering a suspension for Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua at the start of the regular season. The league is reviewing whether Nacua has violated the league's code of conduct policy. Nacua, who led the NFL in receptions last season, is facing a civil lawsuit from a woman accusing him of assault and anti-Semitic comments. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
All I need is one mic.
With the KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. August 5, 2026. Dear LA City Council President Marquise Harris Dawson, on behalf of a coalition of businesses and residents that constitute the Crenshaw Corridor community, we write to request that a concrete timeline and resources for fully completing Destination Crenshaw within a year be developed and announced. A year is the outside time it should take, and we hope and expect that it can be finished considerably sooner. We also request the immediate establishment of a business interruption relief fund for the merchants, entrepreneurs, churches, and property owners who have borne the disproportionate economic burden of the prolonged delays associated with the Destination Crenshaw project, and a resident relief fund for the residents of the corridor who have been most adversely affected by the prolonged construction and delays associated with this unfinished development. Destination Crenshaw was presented to this community as a transformational investment in Black culture, Black commerce, and the future of South Los Angeles. It has now been 6 years since the project broke ground and over 2 years since the promised completion date. Construction has stalled with no apparent end date in sight. The Crenshaw Corridor community embraced the vision of Destination Crenshaw, but the obstruction from the delayed construction has caused prolonged health and safety hazards, uncertainty, reduced customer access, declining revenues, disruptions, and mounting financial hardship. A broad spectrum of the community expressed their frustration over these delays and the impact they have had on the community at a standing room only July 30th town hall at Bethesda Temple Church, widely covered by the media, including ABC, CBS, Fox, and NBC. The burden of these unexplained delays should not rest on the shoulders of the Crenshaw Corridor community, which acted in good faith and supported this historic project. If the city fails to provide a complete and substantive response to this correspondence within 30 days of the date of this letter, the Crenshaw Corridor community reserves its right to pursue all of its rights and remedies. Sincerely, the Crenshaw Corridor community. To read the complete letter detailing all of our demands, go to our website at KBLA1580.com. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. As always, we welcome your feedback.
Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. What Tuesday night told us on Wealthy Wednesdays with Dr. Todd Yeary. Good afternoon, everyone. 6 states voted yesterday: Minnesota, Wisconsin, Connecticut, Vermont, Alabama, South Carolina. And if you're watching for a single verdict,